Alright, so today we're going to be covering KSI's apology and the recent press conference with Joe Fournier. Now, I've missed a few days of uploading and I'm not really at my best. I've been quite sick the last few days, quite deathly ill. I really just couldn't be arsed editing and uploading a video, to be honest. I couldn't even move without vomiting. So this is the first video I'm recording since I've gotten better. Let's get straight into it. Yeah, we're going to be covering KSI's apology after saying a racial slur in a recent Sidemen video, and also the press conference today. Now, immediately, straight off the bat, the press conference left me a bit worried. JJ wasn't himself, very clearly. He wasn't up to the press conference, I don't think. I don't know whether he did this apology beforehand or after, but either way, he definitely wasn't up to task. He didn't speak until 54 minutes into the video.
Alright. Hi. Morning, everyone. So, I want to read a statement which I've written to make sure I express myself as clearly and cover everything I want to say. First of all, I want to address a recent incident in a video whereby my actions have affected many people.
Whereby? Never heard JJ use a word like that before in my life. Whereby my actions. I mean, it's good English, but I mean...
Especially in the South Asian community. I want to take this opportunity to offer my deepest and most sincere apologies for my words and actions. In a recent video, I used a racial term that is offensive to so many, especially in the South Asian community. There were no excuses for what I said, and I recognize I've caused a lot of hurt and disappointment to so many people that look up to me. And my ignorance has only reinforced the negative stereotypes that have existed for way too long in this country.
Now, I'm not going to make a video or even talk about what he did say, but if you don't know about it, just go look it up. I'm not arsed putting the word in my thumbnail or in my title. I don't see how that helps the situation. He shouldn't have said it. Nobody should say it. It's a slur. There's a reason people don't say slurs. It's because they are heavily offensive to people. You shouldn't say these things. Now, in the context he said it, the game show context, I can understand where he thought it might be acceptable, but it isn't. And of course it isn't, because he's going to offend and insult quite a lot of people. Way more people than he could ever imagine. His words are more powerful than he knows.
I want to express my heartfelt regret for what I said, and I want you to know that I am genuinely ashamed and deeply sorry for any pain or suffering I have caused. I realize that my words, have consequences, and as a public figure, I have a responsibility to use my platform for good rather than perpetuating discrimination. And this week I have failed to do this. Privately, I have taken the time to engage in very, early conversations with some people from South Asian communities.
I really hope he doesn't just mean Vic there, because that'd be a bit much, a bit mad,
And will continue to do so in the coming weeks and months ahead. I will continue to educate myself on the rich history and diverse cultures of South Asia and the struggles faced by its people. I am committed to doing better, being a better ally, and use my platform to uplift marginalized voices. Now, I want to say again that, how truly sorry I am for my actions. I know that, you know, it's going to take time and effort to really regain the trust and respect of those that I've hurt. And I'm prepared to tirelessly work to make sure I make amends. You know, I hope my sincere apology and commitment to educate myself will be a step towards healing and unity. And I fully understand that my actions will speak louder than my words. So, yeah, thank you for listening, man. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No. I don't know if that was filmed beforehand, afterward, I don't know. I really don't. But either way, going into the press conference, if this was beforehand, I can see why his mind wasn't in the right place. But will it or will it not affect his fight? So yeah, as you can see, this point in the video is the first time JJ even opens his mouth. Yeah, okay, so the press conference starts around the 35-minute mark, because live stream, of course. But that means until 54:20, JJ doesn't say a word. That's a bit strange. 20 minutes into your own press conference. Not usually what you'd see from JJ. It's sad. It is. It's a sad thing to see. Because he's usually so, you know, extroverted. It's easy to forget that at the end of the day he will always be an introvert. It's who he is naturally, you know. You can make yourself an extrovert, yes, but it doesn't mean you will always be one. It doesn't mean that you can just ignore all of this controversy around your name, you know, your character. And to be honest, with the Sidemen videos, they've said a lot worse. Let's be honest, they always will have said a lot worse, because they've said some stupid things for the sake of trying to make people laugh. They do it all the time, but they've never really faced backlash like this before. Like, that specific word has been used in Sidemen videos before, you know, and you can see people in the comments they're upset, they're hurt because of the way everyone reacts to it. Not only the fact that JJ said it in the first place, they all laugh like it's incredibly funny. And realistically, not really. It's not funny. It's no more funny than calling a gay person the F slur, or a black person the N-word. You know, it's a slur. It's always going to be offensive at the end of the day. So I do believe it was unexpected, but it shouldn't have been. And it shouldn't have had to be unexpected. It shouldn't have had the opportunity to be unexpected or expected. It shouldn't have gone that far.
I know it's a fight that you've absolutely put your foot down. There were other names mentioned, but this is the one you wanted.
Yeah, I think for me with this fight, you know, I felt like I needed to level up. I feel like I needed to really test myself, you know. Same with how Jake Paul tested himself against Tommy Fury and failed. You know, I want to be the person that succeeds. You know, I know this is going to be a hard fight. You know, Alexis has told me several times this is not going to be an easy fight. This is going to be a fight that it's going to be, you know, a struggle. I know Joe is not going to make it easy for me. I know Joe is going to, you know, hit me and really try to slow me down, try to knock me out, etc. But, you know, I'm training like I've never trained in my life. Like, I've trained so hard. I'm already at fight weight, and I'm just pushing myself more and more and more to make sure that I reach an even higher level than I have before. You know, we've worked on our techniques, we've worked on our skills, we've worked on everything we needed to do to make sure that I'm fully ready. And I know he's going to have the experience. You know, he's just been doing it longer than me. It's just simple.
See, to be honest, people are saying it's going to be a very hard fight, but you look at Joe Fournier's professional boxing record. Hang on, I'll pull it up. Right on camera. He's been widely shown as 9-0 pro boxer, right? So now this guy, if you don't know, was born into wealth, didn't really have much problems in his boxing career because he can use that wealth to buy himself the best trainers, the best nutritionists, the best everything. Kind of the same route that a lot of YouTube boxers have taken, using the money that they get from YouTube to push their boxing career even further. But he literally used to get a chauffeur to drive him to school, like he was wealthy for a long time. So then you go to his actual record and you take into account that, so we've got 1 win, 11 losses, 0 wins, 13 losses, 1 win, 11 losses, 0 wins, 5 losses, 11 wins, 41 losses, 14 wins, 8 losses, 0 wins, 3 losses, 2 wins, 24 losses. Now, I'm not being funny. I get that you're going to fight a lot of people that don't have great records when you're trying to start a boxing career, but that doesn't warrant a 9-0 pro boxer level status. Not realistically. And sure, he has shared the ring with David Haye, but David Haye is his friend. You look at that match, David Haye didn't even sweat by the last round. He wasn't working on him. He wasn't even trying to hurt him. You know, I've seen David Haye matches. That wasn't one. I'm not too worried about Joe Fournier. Not honestly, not realistically. Yes, he's good. Don't get me wrong. He's not bad. He's not a bad boxer by any means, but he's slow. And he says he has power. I don't know if he has as much power as JJ, realistically. I think he does have power, but I don't know if he has as much power as JJ. And I don't think he's fast enough for JJ. I'm not worried, honestly. In my personal opinion, this should go down even easier than Tommy beating Jake. You know, even easier than JJ beating Temper. You know, I don't think this is going to be that hard of a fight. It's been built up, and of course, all of the hatred. You know, you got to take into account with the Sidemen video that everything that happened with Wade can only have made this situation worse, because there's people who would have heard what he said in that Sidemen video and would have respected him enough to let it slide. And now those people have seen what's happened between him and Wade, and they're not so down for that anymore because they've lost respect for him. And of course they have. You know, they're right to. You know, it's a sad situation, but hopefully it doesn't affect him in the fight. If it does, the only way I see Joe Fournier winning this fight is if JJ isn't fully in the right mind space on the night. If he is thinking about other things, if he is too busy worrying about what's going on in his social media world. That's why I think it's a great idea that he's taken a break from social media. This isn't the JJ we're used to seeing, you know, and that is sad. Given his apology and everything he said all the right things. Let's just hope that it's all true and that he can recover from this, because I don't believe he's a bad guy. I don't believe he deserves any hate. But I do think he needs somebody to tell him when he's gone too far sometimes. And I think lately he's been going too far quite a lot. So I think this break from social media is probably the best thing for him. And to be honest, this press conference was low-key boring as fuck. So we'll skip to the face-off. Man, we can't hear what they're saying. So we're just going to have to assume what they're saying. I assume that Joe Fournier's... Oh, violence. Oh, that was special right there. But yes, that's everything from that video. Yeah, JJ don't look to be doing too good. He seems stressed. He seems nervous. He doesn't seem like he's in the right headspace at the moment. And I hope, and from watching it myself, if you want to make a judgment on the whole press conference, then go right ahead, watch it. But from my opinion, if this coach is as good as he talks, he should be able to snap JJ out of this, get him into a right headspace as long as he's in the ring. Maybe not necessarily in general, but hopefully while he's in the ring. Otherwise, I don't see it going too well, because Joe Fournier, I don't think he's good enough to beat JJ, not as is, but I do think he's good enough to capitalize on if JJ is making silly mistakes, because JJ is in the wrong headspace. So hopefully he can get into the right headspace. He can recover mentally. He's got plenty of time. It's May 13th, I think, so it should all be fine. But I don't know. It's a lot. And it's a lot for his conscience and a lot for his mind to be thinking about. Not nice to watch, regardless. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, subscribe, hit that like button. I'll see you next time. No rest for the wicked.